Hi, welcome to my review on the equation of a line. I'm going to treat the review as a quiz where the total is out of 32. So each page can be done and you can do the score on each page. And when you get each page done, you can total up the final score out of 32 and convert it to a decimal and then move your decimal 2 places to the right to get your percentage. So treat it as a quiz. You could also do this first to see if you know what the equation of a line is, or how it's working with slope and different equations, things like that. So let's go see how you're going to do. Pause the video now, do all the questions on this page, and then press play to see how you've done the total score. Do that for each page and then total it up. Here we go. Number 1, find the slope of AB. AB. Slope can be defined as rise over run from a graph. So the rise, 1, 2, 3, is a plus 3. And the run is 1, 2. Up is positive, right is positive, so the slope of that line is 3 over 2. I could have done this from two ordered pairs, but I have the next question where I'm going to do the two ordered pairs. So x1, y1, x2, y2. The slope is defined as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is negative 5. Subtract y1, which is negative 2. x2 is a 4. Subtract x1, which is 3. A double negative is a positive, so that top for the numerator becomes negative 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So the slope is negative 3 over 1, or just a negative 3. 1 is understood. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. You should memorize that. A horizontal line on a graph goes like that. And note, the rise is 0, and the run could be any number, so that's why that's a 0. The slope of a vertical line is undefined, and I have those memorized, or we can also say no slope. But again, remind you, 0 slope is horizontal, no slope is vertical, so no and 0 has got a different meaning here. And number 5, graph the line through this point with a slope of negative 4 over 3. So let's plot the point negative 2, 4. X is negative 2. Start at 0, 0. Negative 2 on the X. 4 on the Y. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. So that's the point. Slope is negative 4 over 3. That's down 4, right 3. Down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 3 right there. Down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right 3, 1, 2, 3. So we graph that line passing through those points and line it up. And we have this line that passes through the point of negative 2, 4 with a slope of negative 4 over 3. A line passes through the point negative 1, 4 with a slope of 3. State the equation in the point slope form. So the point slope form is y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. So this point is x1, y1. So that's a 1 there. So y, and you got to change your sign. Plus 4 minus 4, slope is negative 3. And you got to change your sign, plus 1, because when you put a negative 1 here, a negative of a negative is positive, so that's why you're changing your sign. Find the y-intercept of y equals 6x and 2 times x minus 3. A y-intercept, quickest way is let x equals 0. So if you put 0 in the place of x, which you can right away, you sub in 0, and you solve the equation for y. So 0, add on or subtract 3 is negative 3, so y plus 6 equals 6 when you multiply. And you move the 6, which is plus, to the right side. So y equals negative 12. So the y-intercept is negative, and the coordinates are 0, negative 12. So the y-intercept is negative 12. Don't look to score. How many did you get right? Let's continue. Number 8. Find the x-intercept of this line. How do you get the x-intercept? Well, the x-intercept is you let y equals 0, because the x-intercept passes through a point on the x-axis like that. So that coordinate there is x comma 0. Y is 0 on this point. So we let y equal 0. So we sub 0 in the place of y. And notice negative 3 times 0 is 0. So you can really scratch that out if you want. So 4x equals negative 12. Divide by 4. So x equals negative 3. So the x-intercept is negative 3. For the equation y equals 4x minus 1, state the slope of the line. Well, the slope, the equation is y equals mx plus b. I call it the slope. Y-intercept form. Because when I explained the unit, I had two forms. This Y-intercept form or the X-intercept form. But most people, a lot of books and a lot of teachers don't talk about slope, X-intercept form. So the slope of this line is 4, which is the m. The Y-intercept of this line is negative 1. And notice the Y-intercept is when you let x equal 0. So if you let x equal 0 right here, you get 4 times 0 is 0, so y is negative 1. Perfect. And 1 point for each. Graph this line. Again, y equals mx plus b. The slope of this line is a half. And the b is a negative 1. That's the y-intercept. So you plot your y-intercept first at a negative 1 right there. This is your y-axis, negative 1. And the slope is 1 over 2. So you go up 1, right 2. Up 1, right 2. And you graph the line that passes through this point. There we go. There's the line. So that line has a y-intercept of negative 1 with a slope of up 1, right 2. You could also go down 1, left 2, but I prefer to follow what the slope is saying. State the equation in slope x-intercept form. If the slope is negative 6, then the x-intercept is 4. Well, that form that I write out is x, I call it r, as the x-intercept. So m is the slope, so that's negative 6. X-intercept is 4, so we do the opposite. If that was a minus 4, then that becomes a plus 4. So that's the slope x-intercept form. Write the standard form for each. The standard form is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are integers, and a is positive. So we remove the bracket first by distribute negative 3 times x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. The x moves to the left side to become positive. The y is already there. And the 2 moves to the right side to become negative. So 3x plus y equals 10. And if we get that one right, take 1 mark, and let's try the next one. Now, we want standard form. So first of all, we go half x plus y equals 5. Because standard form, the x is on the left, the y is next, and then the constant is next. Now, I'm not allowed to have any fractions, or a is not negative. So I'm going to multiply both sides by, not only going to multiply by 2, I'm going to multiply by negative 2. So if I multiply both sides by negative 2, here we go. There it is. So that's really, if you think about it, I can go negative 2 times negative half x, and I can go negative 2 times y, and I can go, so what I did was I moved both sides by negative 2, so I multiplied every term. Negative 2 times that one, negative 2 times the y, negative 2. So I have negative 2 times every term. And when you do that, it's easy to cancel. 2 into negative 2 is negative 1, so that's a x. Half of 2 is 1, negative times negative positive. 2y equals negative 10. And that's the standard form. Multiply both. You can multiply by 2 and then remove the negative after, but better to multiply by negative 2 right away. And there's a mark for that one. Total up your score. State the equation of the horizontal line through this point. The horizontal line, let's have a look at it. The point is 2, 3 right there. Horizontal line goes like that. So on a horizontal line, all coordinates, all the y's are the same. So a horizontal line for this one is y equals 3. The horizontal line is y equals 3. You could also, horizontal line is equal to the y coordinate because the y is, notice the x is changing as you go. X is 0, x is 1, x is 2, x is 3. So the x value is changing, but the y is the same, so y equals 3. Another way is that you have a horizontal line, you have a slope of 0, and your point is 2, 3. So you could go y minus 3 equals, slope is 0 times x minus 2 in the point slope form. So y minus 3, 0 times that binomial is 0. So y equals 3. Another way to do it. Or you have a memorized horizontal line passing through a point is really equal to the y coordinate. State the equation of the vertical line through the point negative. So the x is negative 3 and y is 4. So let's say that's right there. The vertical line is straight up and down. And if you memorize it, a vertical line got a non-defined slope. It cannot go into y equals mx plus b, or point slope. So it has to be the coordinates on a vertical line are the same. The y's are changing, but the x is not. So really this equation is x equals negative 3. X is, so a vertical line got the x equals, a horizontal line got y equals. The slope of parallel lines are equal or the same. Find the slope of a line through 1, 2, parallel. Find the slope of a line through that, parallel to that. Okay. Find the slope of a line through the point 1, 2. Now let's see what they're saying. Through the point 1, x is 1, y is 2. So it's through this point and it's parallel to this one. So if it's parallel to that one, that means it has to have the same slope. So the slope of this line is 3. So the parallel line has a slope of 3. So it's going through this point and it has a slope of rise 3, run 1. So there's the slope of the line. It's going through this point with this slope. So the answer is 3. 17. The slope of perpendicular lines are the negative, or some people call it opposite, reciprocals. Negative reciprocals of each other. Find the slope of the line perpendicular to this line. So this line has a point of x is negative 2, y is 1, and the slope of this line is negative 3/4. Y equals y minus y1 m times x minus x1. So the slope is negative 3/4. So perpendicular to that, so the perpendicular line, simple, perpendicular slope is the negative reciprocal. So the opposite of a negative is a positive, and the reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. Find the value of k if this point lies on this line. That means that x is k plus 1 and y is 6k. So I put 6k in place of y, and I put k plus 1 in the place of x. And notice I have to do a bracket on that. K plus 1 is a binomial, so it's got to go in bracket. So I simplify, remove the bracket. Negative 4 times k, negative 4k. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 plus 14. So 6k equals negative 4k plus 10. In math, I always simplify left and right side fully before I transpose, and that's what I did here. Now I'll bring the 4k over and make it positive. I got a 6k equals 10. Add up the k's. 4 and 6 is 10k equals 10. And I divide by 10. They cancel out. K, 10 and the 10 is 1. So k is 1. Again, total up your score. Let's see how you're doing. Number 20. Again, pause the video, work all these out, work them out one at a time, press play to see how you're doing. Find the value of k if the lines have the same y-intercepts. Well, this line is same y-intercept. This line is y equals mx plus b. So the y-intercept of this line is 4k. Now I have to get the y-intercept of this. So to get the y-intercept of this, I let x equals 0. So if I let x equals 0, I get 3 times 0. That means that 3 times 0, that cancels out. So therefore 2y equals negative 24. Divide by 2, y equals negative 12. So if they have the same y-intercepts, then you let 4k, which is the y-intercept of this line, equal the y-intercept of this one, which is negative 12. I divide by 4, and the y-intercept, the value of k is negative 3. So if you put a negative 3 back in here, you will get the same y-intercept as this one. When you could also take this equation right here and solve for y and get the y-intercept on the end. And you'll still get the negative 12. You might look at, if you take this equation, again, just watch, and solve it for y, and I divide by 2, y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 12. So you see the y-intercept is minus 12 when you solve it for y. Or you let x equals 0 and solve for y, you get the y-intercept. But this equation, when you put the negative 3 back right here, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So that y-intercept is negative 12 when k is negative 3. This y-intercept is negative 12, so we're okay. Find the equation of each line that we have here. A line through this in the point-slope form. The point-slope form, we have 2 points. We could pick either one, and we have to get a slope. So the slope is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. And we take our time and work it out. y2 is a 7, minus y1 is negative 3, x2 is a 4, minus a 5, double negative is a positive, so that's 10 over negative 1. So the slope is negative 10. And we want it in point slope form, so let's pick either point we'll do. Let's pick the 4, 7. And we pick on our slope to be negative 10. So it's a y minus 7, negative 10 times x minus 4 in the point slope form. B, parallel to this line with the same y-intercept of this one. So parallel to this one means that the slope of that line is going to be 1/2. The y-intercept is negative 3. So it's parallel to that. So the parallel slope is the same. So we have a 1/2. Now it has the same y-intercept. So without mixing it up, let's write down this equation. The y-intercept of this one, we let x equals 0. So we let 0 right here. And 4 times 0 is 0, so that's gone. So negative 2k is negative 10. Divide by negative 2. Y is 5. And if I want, I could have read at the beginning, how to get a y-intercept? Well, if you let x equals 0, you can cross that out because it's disappearing here. And you solve and you get 5. and we want it in the slope Y-intercept form. So it's parallel to, so it has a half slope with a Y-intercept of 5. Perfect. Notice the Y-intercept of this line is -3. So there are two lines that have different Y-intercepts, but the half slopes. So there's the equation of the line. And I'll go back to here. We found the value of K. We got 1 mark. Here, if you do the slope, you can get a mark. If you got the equation, you get a mark. Here is 3 marks, so you get 1 for getting the slope, and 1 for getting the Y-intercept, and another mark for writing the equation. C, perpendicular to, there's a Y there, I forgot to rub it out, perpendicular to Y equals that. So the slope of this line, right here, let's do that. The slope of that line is a 3. So the perpendicular slope, that's 3 over 1. So it's a -1/3. And through the X-intercept of this line. So the X-intercept, how do you get the X-intercept? Well, you let Y equals 0. So if you put 0 in the place of Y, there we go. And 6 times 0 is 0, so that's 4x, that's a 0. So that's gone. So divide by 4. And I get x is 3, so the X-intercept is 3 when you let Y equal 0. So right at the beginning, if I want the X-intercept, I can cross that out like that and go 4x equals 12x is 3 to get it right fast. And I want it in X-intercept form, so that's Y equals m times x minus r, and the slope is -1/3 because it's perpendicular to this line. And the X-intercept is 3, so that's an x minus 3. And again, slope, 1 mark. Finding the X-intercept is another mark, and doing the equation, Y equals -1/3 times x minus 3 is another mark. And the last question on your quiz or review, find the value of K if the two lines are perpendicular and have slopes. Well, you can do two things here. You got to do the negative reciprocal. So if I take 2/3 and I take K out, 12 over K, I can go 2/3 negative reciprocal is a -3 over 2. And then that negative reciprocal is equal to 12 over K. And then I can cross multiply. -3 times K equals 2 times 12. -3K is 24. Divide by -3. So K is -8. Or if I take the 2/3 and K over 12, I can go 2/3 equals the negative reciprocal of 12 over K. So I could make it, or 12 over K, I can make it a -12 K over 12. So over here I did the negative reciprocal of 2/3 and worked it out. Here I did the negative reciprocal of 12 over K. And either way, if I multiply, it don't make any difference. I can multiply 2 by 12 and 3 by -K. 24 equals -3K. And I can leave it like that, or I can move it around, your choice. I can go, let's go down here, I can go 3K equals -24, but that's really flipping it, and divide by 3 and I'll get -8. Or I could leave it as 24 equals -3K and divide by -3 on each side like that. They cancel, so K is on the right side. But if you move the unknown to the left side and move the constant to the right side, then you're obeying variables on the left all the time as the x. But you can leave it like this because it's very simple to divide both sides by -3. Total up your score, and if your score comes out to be whatever it is, put your score over 32, divide 32 into your score, get a decimal, and then multiply by 100 or move your decimal 2 places to the right. That's a review of the equations of a line. If you like my video, click the like button. If you're not a subscriber, click my subscribe button and the notification bell, because there's more videos coming your way. Write a comment on my video if you wish, and visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com. And there you have 3 sections: me, my degrees and teaching experience. The video section has the strategies you're going to use to help you learn your math. Section on content has the topics and the number of videos on those topics on my YouTube channel. Black font is online right now, and the red font is what will be coming there in the near future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.